I'm going to agree to an extent here because I do think he has got to be cognizant of the discourse happening right now, not just on television with us and not just on NBA Twitter or in newspapers. There's discourse happening right now at the league office. There's discourse happening right now amongst the referees. And look, Draymond has talked about this. He knows when he gets that first technical, he's able to get away with a little bit more after that. I mean, he admitted that to me one time. I was playing for the Pelicans, and he got a technical early in the game, and the things he was saying to the referees the rest of the game, I went up to him after the game. We talked about it. I'm like, what's going on? Like, how were you able to do this? He goes, I don't know. I just know. As soon as I get one, they don't want to throw me out of the game. As it relates to game 2, though, and I said this yesterday, as it relates to game 2, there was nothing I saw, even the Jaylen Brown incident, that warranted getting thrown out of the game. The thing you bring up about being careful, I think that relates back to that discourse, that now it's on everyone's radar, that if he gets that first technical, what is he going to get away with? And it only takes one referee to make a split-second decision and toss him out of the game, and that hurts the Warriors, and I'll tell you why. Because what he brought to the game, to game 2, he doesn't need to change at all. Right. His approach doesn't need to change at all. He was a nuisance. He was an annoyant. He was an instigator. He set the tone for the Warriors. He gave them energy. He gave them a spirit. It was combative, and it worked. Mm-hmm. And whether or not, we can debate all day, whether or not it's getting into the Boston Celtics heads, I'm not here to debate that. I'm not here to debate that. I don't think that the Celtics should be trying to bait him into technicals or bait him into double technicals. I think they should go out and try to figure out how to guard Steph Curry. That's probably more important to this series. But if you're Draymond, you have to bring this approach to every game. And he's talked about this before. He's talked about the fact that that year when the Warriors were without Steph Curry, they were without Klay Thompson, he was on his own. He was a terrible player because the games didn't matter.
Right.
And he is at his best when the games matter, and he brings this edge. And whether you like it or not, whether you're a fan of his or not, he has got to bring that edge, and he's got to teeter on the brink of falling off that edge.
But be clear, nobody's disagreeing with you about how he played. We're talking about the communication, not just with the officials, but after the game, when you publicize what your feelings are and what your intent is, knowing how the league office can be. And all the players out there, you got
but on that point, I'll let you finish after that. My question to you on that is, what did he say after the game was that
It wasn't
egregious?
in the arena. He was talking about, I heard an interview, and I'm trying to remember the exact quote. Please forgive me for not having it. I don't remember it verbatim. But he was essentially saying, they ain't throwing me out. It's the finals.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. No, you don't say that. You don't say, I know they're not going to do it. You don't say that.
Your issue with the post-game comments is not him going on a podcast or not him giving
interviews. Not at all.
Your issue is him essentially daring the league or daring the referees to throw him out.
Listen, I'm all about, as long as you're putting in the work, go get your money.
Yeah.
Do all means. Don't just get it as a player. Get it as an executive. Get it as somebody in media. Get it any way you can. I'm all for it. I'll be damned if I'm not trying. So let's be clear about that. All I'm saying, though, is this. It's one thing to feel that way. It's another thing to verbalize it, understanding how the league is and what they guard against. And you have some people out there who believe just officiate the game. The rules should be the rule, and that should be it. Hell with all of that. Moments matter. Regular season game, I'd have booted Draymond Green out of the game if I was official and he got in my face too much. Finals, I'm not trying to do that. It's the finals, man. I got to make sure I exhaust every means before I make that decision against you. But it's easier for me to do if I'm an official. And I'm buffered by the league office. If you sitting out there publicly declaring, they ain't going to do that to me. It's the finals. They ain't got no choice. I'm going to get away with it. Trust me. You don't say that. You keep that to yourself. You can feel that way. You just keep it to yourself.
I will say this, the referees that are reffing this NBA Finals, and there's a number of them. They rotate crews every game. These are the best of the best. These guys have graded out the best. A lot of them have a lot of tenure in the league, so they get a chance to do finals games over and over. These are the best referees in the world. They also are the best communicators for referees. So if there is a mandate or if there is communication from the league or from the Referees Association, hey, we've got to lock this up, they are going to go to Draymond. And he's smart enough to recognize. They're going to go to Draymond at the jump circle or in warm-ups.
Right.
Hey, man, like the antics, we're not dealing
But
with
we're
that
only
tonight.
going by what we see and what we hear, JJ.
Yes.
I'm not disputing that. We all covered the league for a quarter century. Right? You're absolutely right. But we still have to take into account what we're seeing and then what you say publicly. And we have to say, wait a minute, based on that, you can't do that. Right. Because now you might change that kind of thinking when it comes to you just to make a point. Yep. And you never know. It only takes one. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.